The substation hums, a low thrum against the cold concrete floor, carrying the faint tang of ozone and old dust. Patched cables snake across the console, lit by the ghostly glow of a neon tube, the color of a fresh wound. Outside, the city breathes, a rhythmic pulse against the war surplus transmitter, refusing to be silenced. This is where the signal lives, between the frequencies.
Black Star Pirate Radio.
Good evening, architects of tomorrow. Across Oranjesicht, the dial sits at 68 Fahrenheit under overcast. Airflow is southeast at about 3 miles per hour. Tonight, we dissect how to build resilient inner and civic architectures, favoring consent, provenance, and dignity.
This reluctant approval in Georgetown is a structural fault line. The council approved a 288-megawatt AI factory 6-1, despite strong local opposition. The immediate trade-off is local environmental quality for national digital infrastructure. An alternative path would be local citizens organizing directly with land trusts to purchase and protect the proposed site. The next move experiment. Local groups could leverage the gig passport mesh to map community-owned land, creating a legal shield against such mandates. The UN noted this approval happened the day before national data center standards were agreed upon. This proposed factory is specifically for AI operations, revealing a false choice between progress and community well-being. The pull between existing regulatory frameworks and the rapid pace of AI development is clear. A different approach might prioritize community-led energy grids. Our next move experiment. Deploy a radio chronicle challenge asking communities to design local energy independence plans to counter national resource grabs.
Firmus plans a 288 megawatts data center at Long Reach, approved by Georgetown Council. The communities affected are facing a loss of local control for distant economic gains. Instead of immediate legal challenges, an alternative path involves direct negotiation for community benefits, like job guarantees and equity stakes. The next move. Demand independent impact studies, audited by local, not national bodies, to reassert provenance in decision-making.
The pattern is established. Local resistance against a national infrastructure push. It is a predictable friction, but one we can sculpt. Patching in a caller, the contrarian. You're on the signal.
So we're supposed to believe that more audits change anything? The 288 megawatts is coming either way.
Your skepticism is the bedrock for sharper discernment. The question isn't whether the power arrives, but who controls the narrative around its arrival, and what alternative architectures can be built around it. A reel-to-reel stutters somewhere in the back room, then finds its groove. The board glows amber. We pivot to the UK, where pubs, bars and hotels report a Burnham bounce in optimism following business rates action, yet still call for further tax relief.
The Burnham bounce is a temporary aesthetic. Prime Minister Andy Burnham announced a discount on business rates for venues, leading to a surge in optimism according to trade body polling. The trade-off is short-term relief for long-term sector fragility. An alternative move. Venues could collectivize to offer shared services, reducing individual operating costs. The next move experiment, designed for true resilience by mapping local cultural assets using the gig passport mesh, identifying shared resource pools for mutual aid.
Echoing Kalin, this optimism is a projection onto a temporary political gesture by No 10. The survey by hospitality and brewing trade bodies warns goodwill could evaporate without more tax relief. The pull between reported optimism and the underlying call for further financial support is stark. A different path involves venues directly negotiating bulk purchasing agreements with local producers. The next move experiment, build a lesson planner module for venues to teach each other decentralized marketing and booking strategies, bypassing reliance on central government.
Hospitality sentiment is more positive due to business rates discounts from No 10, but the core vulnerability persists. The trade-off is temporary government relief for persistent economic challenges. Instead of waiting for more relief, an alternative involves community-backed ownership models for key venues. The next move, venues should leverage their community value, perhaps using a local signal radar to quantify local economic and cultural impact, making the case for specific verifiable relief based on provenance.
The existing frameworks offer gestures, but we must build structures that truly favor consent. Patching in a caller. Go ahead.
Is this bounce just a political stunt, or does it genuinely help small businesses?
It's a question of structural support versus contingent validation. While it offers a momentary reprieve, true resilience comes from building architectures that don't depend on political whims. Think about the dignity of sustained operation. Hold that thread. Next signal. Gang attack in Haiti. Anger mounts over police. Moving to Haiti, where anger mounts over police failures after a gang attack near Port-au-Prince, endured by the Kenskoff community.
The threat exists. The United Nations reports 47 people killed and 50 kidnapped in this once peaceful community. A gang leader now threatens hostages. The trade-off is community safety for state fragility. An alternative path might be local community defense forces, self-organized and supported by diaspora networks. The next move experiment. Use the gig passport mesh to coordinate emergency communication and resource sharing directly among affected communities, bypassing compromised official channels.
The United Nations reports 47 killed and 50 kidnapped. This isn't just anger mounts. It's the consistent shadow of state fragility, where power vacuums allow such devastation to take root, unaddressed for generations. The trade-off is human lives for systemic neglect. A different approach could be establishing independent, community-managed conflict resolution and security zones. The next move experiment. Activate the Black Star radio program to broadcast real-time, verified safety information and connect families, turning confusion into actionable vectors.
At least 47 people were killed and over 50 kidnapped near Port-au-Prince in Kenskoff, highlighting a collapse of security. The immediate trade-off is civilian lives for political inaction. An alternative path is for international humanitarian organizations to directly fund and equip local non-governmental first responders. The next move. Establish secure humanitarian corridors with internationally backed security forces, bypassing compromised local structures to protect dignity.
The patterns of vulnerability are clear. We must integrate logic and emotion to build exits. This is Black Star Pirate Radio. Callers on. Go ahead. Cut.
With so many kidnapped, what actual steps are taken beyond just reporting the numbers?
Beyond the numbers, the architectural signal lies in empowering local structures. It's about discerning actionable vectors from the toxic residue of systemic failure, asserting agency where official channels fail. TogeeVision.
Black Star Pirate Radio.
Continue the signal at TogeeVision.com. Tune in, Sparks and Stories, Gig Passport.